Here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and your time check was brought to you by Republic Bank.
We're invested in your success.
I need to pay my final year tuition.
We're invested in your happiness. I want the biggest wedding ever for the love of my life. We're invested in your peace of mind.
A home of my own? Finally.
At Republic Bank, we're invested in you. Your dreams, your goals, your wants and needs drive us to be our best selves. It's because of you we innovate and push forward. A Caribbean bank serving the Caribbean for almost 2 centuries. Call or come in and talk to us about your goals today. Republic Bank, we're the one for you.
WEFM, the clean, fresh sound.
Rise and shine. Let's get ready to take on the day. Activated Mornings on WEFM 99.9 is on now.
Good morning, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The time is now 7:16. Good morning to everyone on the way to work, school, just starting their day this morning. Good morning to those in the diaspora, those silently listening to 99.9 this morning. You are listening to Ari, and with me in studio is Roleza, and we are Activated Mornings this morning. How are you, Roleza?
Ari, you're a morning person?
Yes, I am.
Okay. So
very much so.
We've been here about like an hour now, and I'm still very sleepy. And I always say, boy, don't ever catch me before 6:30. Like, don't catch me before 6:30. And I've been trying here to wake up. But all right, so the activated morning part of it, apart from me being sleepy, I'm otherwise okay. And what about you?
I am great, and I saw this post by Skinny Fabulous on Facebook that made me feel even better. So tonight at the Toronto Raptors game, Caribbean night, Skinny Fabulous, Gamal Doyle will be performing during the halftime show on Caribbean night at the Raptors game versus Brooklyn Nets at Scotiabank Arena. Skinny Fabulous will perform at 8:30 tonight. So he shared a post on Instagram, but the one I saw was on Facebook, where he was encouraging Vincentians and Caribbean persons in general to come out and support, or even I think you're able to stream it. But yeah, let's show Skinny Fabulous some support. Tonight he's the second Vincentian to perform at the Caribbean Heritage Night. Last year, Kevin Little performed, and it's always a good thing when we have our soca artists up front on the international scene. So shout out to Skinny Fabulous this morning.
I only have one thing to say. Boom blast. That's it. All right, morning, Anne. We see you. Morning. Ari Ann says morning. Say morning.
Good morning, Anne. So unfortunately, that is the only good news in this segment. Well, I'm not saying the only good news, but we have to switch to something not so positive. So last night, Eyewitness News posted a story, and the headline read, St. Martin student cuts schoolmate on neck with razor blade. So police have launched an investigation into an incident at St. Martin Secondary School where a student was left with several stitches to the neck after a schoolmate reportedly slashed him with a razor blade. Eyewitness News was unable to confirm the incident occurred at the all-boys school on Tuesday, but the details remain sketchy. It is not clear whether the incident occurred on the compound, but sources tell Eyewitness News that it was reported to the police on Wednesday, who have launched a criminal investigation into the matter. The ages of the students involved are also unclear. So, Roleza, what are your thoughts on this specific incident?
Well, this took me a little bit by surprise. In terms of the severity of what has happened. The thing of it is that, yes, boys get into fights. Students, let me not just say boys. Students get into fights, but to hear that a student, number one, had a razor in his possession, and number two, used the razor to slash another student's throat or neck. Let me not say throat, slash the other student's neck. Sounds a bit severe and sounds extreme, and also sounds in a sense where you can tell the youthfulness of the student in not knowing what the severity or what the possible outcome of this situation could have been. Because had he missed and had he cut a vein, that other student could have possibly bled to death. So it makes me wonder, what could have caused this? Not that there's any excuse for it, but in terms of having to resort to such a severe measure is what is of concern to me. I mean, students get into fights all the time. And what happened? There no longer fist fights happening. Why they need to have a razor, So what could have been the possible outcome of that situation is what is of most concern to me.
So what had happened was the two young men got in a petty argument, and as soon as they were dismissed on Tuesday, it became violent to the point where this young man went into his bag, and well, the rest speaks for itself. Now, police are investigating the matter, and the other student who received stitches is already back in school. My two issues with this is, number one, well, I would say three. Number one, it's wrong. Let's put it out there immediately. Should not have happened. Violence against anybody, especially students, on a school compound is, or otherwise, is unacceptable. But number two, the reaction that I'm seeing does not make sense to me. Persons are saying, oh, his parents should be charged for the offense. What? That's what you sign up for when you're being a parent?
You saw that?
No. It's in the comment section of Eyewitness News. Persons are saying that he needs to be arrested. He needs to go to jail. It's attempted murder. A lot of different things that I'm seeing coming out of this. And the opinions are very interesting to me. The long and short of the matter is, this happened. I saw a person saying, oh, when I was in school, there was fist fight. I never even knew students brought razor blades to school. For the longest time, students have been carrying weapons to school. When I was in school, I remember there was one specific student who was shot. He got chopped up. He got ran over by a vehicle, I think. I used to think this man have 9 lives.
But all of this didn't, but this clearly didn't happen on his school compound.
No, nobody ever got shot on grammar school, but there are people who brought guns to school. There was a time when I would say 60% of grammar school students had pocket knives. See, there was a Syrian store in Kingston that used to sell them for dirt cheap, and grammar school had to be doing a lot of random searches to get rid of all these weapons. And not just grammar school, high school, Emmanuel, Bethel, all of them, they used to have random searches because there are a lot of random contrabands that was in student possession at that time. Some person saying, why do we have a razor blade in school? I went to an all-boys school. That's a normal thing. Nobody using the razor blade as a tool for violence. You use the razor blade to line up. I saw a person say, oh, the school is not a barber shop. It's boy days. All you're doing is lining up. You use the razor blade to shave your clothes just in case there's a loose thread or something. Use the razor blade for all those things. Use the razor blade to cut off things off your shoes. It have many different uses for the razor blade. Plus, if it is that it's being used as a weapon, is the last resort. Persons don't, well, at least not to my knowledge, leave home with a razor blade thinking, I'm taking this to school to slash somebody.
Because when you brought up that part of walking with things to school, it made me wonder if it was a case where there was like extra tension in your school at that time, because having these things is kind of weird to me. Like, it
is strange, right? But you need to remember that it's teenage boys.
So the lining up, I could understand. I could understand if y'all, quote unquote, experimenting on each other in terms of barbering skills, right? Practicing on each other, maybe not experimenting, practicing on each other. I could probably understand that. But the thing of it is that I have to also wonder, how often do schools, because I think it started happening, was it at either Bethel or Buckerman Bay, where students' bags were actually searched upon entry. I know it makes me wonder if
I think it
all
happened
schools,
at Mespo Convent as well.
it makes me want to know if all schools probably need to put this in place, because one of the problems that we're seeing in society is that people do not know how to settle disputes. People do not know how to settle verbal arguments, verbal disagreements, right? And in the hands of some individuals, if you know that you have something in your bag or in your possession that can be used as a weapon, if you cannot articulate your points clearly to avoid a physical confrontation, persons are going to quickly resort to those things. And in the hands of a student who is in all youthfulness, not aware of the possible consequences of their action, this leads me to wonder now if all schools, when students are entering the compound, if their bags need to be searched, because I cannot imagine the parents of the boy, well, both parents, let me put this out there for both parents, but the parents of the students whose neck was slashed, whose neck was cut, having to possibly hear in the afternoon that their child was cut, bled out, and died, and on a school compound, knowing that you send your child to school where it's supposed to be safe. You know, the school is another place where you're not expecting harm to come to your child in this context. Yes, fights can happen. We understand that, but not something that as severe as what could have happened in this instance.
My question is, what's going to contribute or constitute to a contraband? Because there's still the rulers with the steel in it that can cut people.
Take
still
those away too. We don't have to have the rulers with the steel. When last you see a ruler with steel, by the way?
I don't know. There's still
I haven't seen them in a while.
There's still arts classes and razor blades used in those things as well. But there's scissors. There's listen, well, almost anything could be.
It's justified reason. Like if you have art and you need to use your scissors, okay.
Almost anything could be a weapon, really and truly.
Yeah, a pencil could be a weapon, but still, we don't want those with the sharp objects or sharp ends to be present. But
I think needs to happen is conflict resolution, because you take away certain things, or you search on entry, they're going to find creative ways to get them into the school. As I said, grammar school had random searches and persons were still in school with all type of weapons. So the searches aren't going to really solve anything. Maybe it could put fear in their hearts, but they're not going to solve it. It's not going to solve.
It may not necessarily solve everything. It's just like how we have laws in place and prison exists and people still commit crimes, but it could probably help to be a deterrent or diminish certain activities.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to make much of a difference.
Because if me and you get into an argument and I'm smaller than you and I know that I have a something that could be used as a weapon and you come towards me, the first thing I might look to do is to use whatever it is that I have there, as opposed to saying, Ari, back off.
And that could be anything.
And as opposed to saying, Ari, back off, or Ari, or me walking away. But if knowing that I have it there might be the first response, then I could end up with a murder charge on my hands.
And so the issue is teaching the young boys conflict resolution, because you take away one weapon, it can be substituted.
Right. So, but it could be both, Ari. Both could be put into place. Conflict resolution is always the first step. We always advocate that as the first step, right? But it's teaching that and also having another measure in place by probably taking away these certain things that can be used as weapons.
So you're going to take away everything then?
We're taking away those that are not necessarily needed for school purposes.
I could take off my shoelace and strangle somebody. No matter what you do, they're going to find creative ways. So
as razor is not a school. It's not a school tool.
Okay, that is understandable. But my argument is, if it is that you're going to target the razors, and the scissors are school tool.
Yeah, but you're not always. But do you have to walk with the scissors every day? Or
I never said that. But they are school tools.
You can go to the staff room and ask for a scissors. Or if it's an art class, the teacher can walk with the scissors.
Nothing. You go to the staff room and still have the scissors on you.
Yes,
something could happen during the class.
It's not going to be a case where it's more than one student having a reason to have the scissors in their possession.
It's an art class, so it's one person going to be using the scissors. That don't make no sense.
No, but you can have the art teacher bring the scissors to the art class. And
Oh,
then
so
the
they're going
teacher
to
take
bring
them,
one scissor?
and then the teacher can take them back up at the end of it. As
The
opposed to
point is
student
they're still
walking
going to
into-
have them in the
Yeah, but
class.
what is the likelihood of every time there's an art class that there's a fighting that's going to occur?
This is the first time that a razor been used to slash somebody's throat. What is the likeliness of this?
So what it is, Ari,
Anyways.
if you know that you're not supposed to have it, you take it away. That's
In
all
the
that I'm
interest of
saying.
time, all I'm gonna say is you need conflict resolution. I'm sorry to
One.
the student that excuse
One.
me.
One.
Yeah, I'm sorry to the parents who are experiencing this on both sides. I actually taught the young man who got his throat cut, and I do hope he has a speedy recovery. The third issue that I have, because when it is that officials do something wrong and the police do something wrong, I point it out. I do feel like us in the media world or in the media society here in St. Vincent and the Grenadines need to do better by St. Martin's. St. Martin's have a number of programs going on. They have a number of initiatives. There are teachers in St. Martin that do a number of things to promote education in the school. There's spelling bees. There's the project that Petrol does
Stems.
the STEM project. There are their business club. There's a sports meet. There's a lot of things that St. Martin do, but we don't see that in the news as prevalent as we see when something goes wrong in St. Martin.
But how often has St. Martin's been in news for something wrong?
The shooting that happened
Well,
in the
that wasn't,
compound.
yeah, but that wasn't in relation
And
to
in
the
between this
students.
and now, yes, it affects the student.
No, I did not
thing,
say it
but
doesn't affect the students. I said, but
anyways,
it did not directly
between then
relate
and
to the
now,
students.
the trending news or the news that reporters push are the negative news. Between that time, let's say is about 3-4 years. When have we really seen the media come forward and promote the good that happens in not just St. Martin, a lot of these secondary schools? And I really do think that we need to do better by these schools because this went around easy. And I'm pretty sure that reporters will be at the school trying to find out information or contacting the principal or contacting teachers to try to find out more about this. But when they have positive projects in place, I don't see the same effort. And I taught at St. Martin, so I could speak with authority and say I don't see the same effort in finding out more about these things.
All right, so two things with regards to that. Okay, so this went around because of the severity of what happened, and I think because it took a lot of persons by surprise. Number two, if you're talking about the positive things from St. Martin's, I suppose you may have to put that on St. Martin's in terms of how well do they promote the activities that happen in the school? Do they utilize their social media?
And that is the problem.
Right?
Why does St. Martin have to promote the activities that are happening at school? How do they find them for negative things?
Yeah,
That's the point. That's the end all.
So when last have you heard anything coming out, let's say from MESFO, North Union? When last have you seen them in the media?
But then when something negative happens, the reporters find the information.
Severity of what has happened
Lord
here.
have mercy. Really, sir?
Yeah, Lord
God
have
bless
mercy
you.
indeed.
God bless you.
It's a Catholic school. God will bless me. And I went to Catholic school.
All right. All the best with that.
Amen.
So my point is we need to do better by the secondary schools. I know that the schools reach out to media houses when they have positive things set in place and they barely get responses. But as soon as something negative happens, there's a clear response. We need to do better by these schools. And
well, I mean, you're in the media as
that's the
well.
end
Maybe
all.
you could do your part in terms of, putting out the information for
we're
other
both
schools
in the
as
media,
well.
Roleza. That is what a radio
No, but
station is.
yeah, but okay, Ari, I don't understand. I don't understand, right? The reason why this went viral so quickly is because of what happened. You're talking about positivity in relation to the school, right? You spoke about STEMs. How it is that I know about STEMs? I know about STEMs happening at St. Martin's. I know about Petrus' involvement at St. Martin's.
How often
It's
you
not
came
a
down here and
case-
talk about it?
But so you want for me to talk about North Union? When last have you spoken about North Union
It's
Secondary
not
School?
just St. Martin. That is my point. It's when
Yeah,
all
but
of these
but
schools
how
do
are you
positive
going-
things
but
and
how-
you know and it. So what
yeah,
I
but-
am saying
but do
is
you take an
media
active
professionals.
approach, but do you take an active approach to find information in relation to all the positive things that are being done in the schools? You know what happens in the media is something that is
Roleza.
surprising, that is going to take center stage, that is going to go
Roleza,
viral.
I myself am in the media. I said media professionals need to do better by these schools. I'm not excluding myself.
But
are
then you
missing the
highlighted
point.
St. Martin's.
Because we're talking about St.
And the reason why we're
It's a
talking
topic.
about St. Martin's is because of what happened yesterday.
Oh my days. God bless you.
Amen.
The time is 7:35.
he indeed has.
Roleza, the time is 7:35. It's time for a traffic talk this morning.
WEFM, the Clean Fresh Sound.